Hi, good day, and welcome to Marble Halls TV. Today's going to be a slightly different um, video. Um, I've been planning to do this for a few days now, but I thought I may as well just get it done and out of the way with as it stands now. Um, there have been some incidents, shall we say, on the football YouTube sphere, which I found frankly distasteful. Now, racism is wrong against anybody, but these touch me. Well, if I'm giving myself too much credit, understandably because I'm black myself, right? Um, and I think as I'm kind of a regular on the person's channel, um, no, I'm not going to name the names because I don't think that's fair. I think this is an incident that, well, I won't say it's blown over, but certainly doesn't make sense to chin it up. But I want to talk a bit from a more personal standpoint and in a way to make an appeal to the wider, not wider community, but basically vigilance, right? There's an old quote that, well, I was going to say there's an old quote: the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Now, that I suppose I shouldn't say that because that's not relevant to the point, but the gist of what I'm trying to say is that if we're to stop racism or at least curb racism, awareness needs to be brought out. And I often watch the Football Terrace. And I have to say that I was very pleased with what Terry at the Football Terrace did last week. Um, Now, a lot of the regulars on the Football Terrace, people like Neeks and KJ, Gal, Kesh, Anita, um, who else is there? Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, Adam Charles, generally tend to be black or non-white. Non-well, there's a couple of Southern Asian people there too. So, if anything, white people are the minority. Obviously, Terry himself is white British, but generally most of the regulars tend to be non-white people, right? Um, so this entire incident that happened last week, I think obviously would have touched many for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna add a bit of the video from the Football Terrace, um, and well, I'm gonna add my thoughts basically.
I can't apologize enough to you, and to be honest, I need
Wait,
to.
hold on. No, I don't want to. What?
You know what? I should probably add some context here. What happened there? The geezer's face you can see there is called TG Shifts. Now, for those who are like regular subscribers to Arsenal content online or YouTube at least, he's often appeared on channels like often given super chats. Often he's appeared on the Football Terrace too. But basically, he's been confronted here because he said some racially charged statements towards Latimus Prime, who's a black Chelsea fan and regular on the Football Terrace. So basically, what's happening is that he's being confronted by Terry and other Football Terrace members in this regard.
One, I don't want to hear an apology. Two, Terry, can you please bring bits and bobs in, please? Yeah, I don't want to hear an apology. Explain what you meant and what you said, because
Look,
I really don't care about an apology.
look, there is no explanation for what I said. There's no.
There is an explanation. So can you say it, please? And can you also repeat what you said as well? Thank you.
Okay. Um. I said,
I'm actually angry. I didn't know I was this angry. I'm actually angry right now. I'm usually quite a reserved and calm person. It takes a lot. I don't get pushed over that easily.
I'm gonna fast forward it a bit here because I just want to hear or see some
I'm
of the
just
further
repeating
points.
and echoing what Terry said. And I appreciate you for doing that, Terry. But I want you to come and explain what you said. Because the only reason why these people are on here on the panel with me is because I want them to stay. And they haven't said anything because I said they shouldn't say anything. But if
I'd like to say something as well, still.
TD, do you know what annoys me as well, right? I'm young, innit? I'm young, and I'm pretty sure we all know the difference between right and wrong, and what you did was clearly wrong. But the worst thing is about it is that when everyone was asking you what you're doing, you were just trying to find excuses. There was literally, you never took any ownership of what you did. I'm not going to swear because I don't feel like I don't need to waste my energy on you because it's not worth it. But to sit there and call him a black cocoa bean and like just be so comfortable with saying that. And then afterwards, when everyone goes, what you did is wrong and it's clearly racist, for you to be like, well, I'm having this problem in my life and this, that, and the other. How do you think it felt for Prime when you were going through and calling him a maid and saying, oh, I'm going to go for you, I've got a vendetta against you, and then calling him a black cocoa bean? It's even worse because you even said it yourself. I have a personal problem with you. Do you know how easy I could just be like, oh yeah, you just hate him because he's black? You may have some reason why you might have a vendetta, which I don't even get because Prime's one of the nicest people to have.
I'm going to leave it there. So essentially, what's happened is that again, it's calling to account. It's not vindictiveness. It's calling someone to account, and I think instances like this are good. Now they do symbolize basically that if people are racist or bigoted in any way, it's not just about challenging them, but it's bringing it to light so they can learn, and also to some degree is a deterrent that these things are unacceptable. Now, bigotry against anybody. For example, there are a lot of female YouTubers, right, prominent ones. There's what's her name, Sophie Rose. Well, she's a Chelsea fan. There's what's her name, she's Sophie again. She's a United fan. I think it's Hairdryer Treatment, her channel. There's a couple Chelsea ones, Anita. I think it's Road Killers are the Chelsea ones. There's a Tottenham one. Is it Spurs KY? I think it is. There's a Newcastle one that Kendall. They sometimes get misogynistic abuse, and that's wrong. Just because someone's female doesn't mean their opinion on football, they have less of a right to talk on football. I don't know of any prominent like gay football YouTubers or transgender or what have you. People of all descriptions have got abuse, and that's unacceptable. Hence the title, Enough is Enough. So it's not about calling or condemning people. It's about calling it out. It's about deterrent. And it's about saying that enough is unacceptable. Now, I want to do another piece of. This is from a guy called Flex, who is, as you may know, is part of the United Stand. I suppose the biggest. I know Stretford Paddock is out, or is there, but United Stand's probably overtaken them. Probably for the last couple of years is the biggest United channel, obviously run by Goldbridge. But Flex has been one of the biggest faces on the United Stand. So I'm going to run a little piece of his thing, but I may just have to play the audio and not a doctored video because I don't want to fall foul of copyright. So yeah, this is Flex.
About myself in the Sun newspaper, which I say the Scottish Sun newspaper, by a journalist called Bill Leckie. Now, the reason why it's taken me a while to kind of respond to this article is because I want to get my facts right. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair to be coming on a platform and talking about something when you haven't got your facts right. So I made sure I did that. And it's something that I've just had enough of. I've had enough of it, to be fair. And I'm just going to call it out for what I think it is and have that discussion. And hopefully Bill Leckie's watching this. And if he is, feel free to come and have a conversation with myself. I'm doing an interview with myself. Email me personally, whatever. Let's talk about this, because I'm not going to be out here trying to label you as anything, but I'm going to talk about how the language that you've used in your article, and more importantly, how it's been able to be published at the Scottish Sun newspaper has affected me and how I perceive it to come across. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to put up the article probably as I'm speaking now. Josh can put that in, no problem. And basically, it's to do with me going on Sky Sports News. Now, first of all, I want to big up Sky Sports News and the producers of Sky. They've been massively supportive. When they're the ones who actually brought this to my attention and told me that there was an article out there. And first of all, they don't agree with it. And, you know, I got their full support. They love having us on there from the United Stand. I love having my views on there as a fan. So on and so forth, which big up to Sky. So that's the first thing I want to get out there. But basically, Mr. Bill Leckie has, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Bill, correct me if I'm not, has taken a disliking, there's no other way to put it, to seeing my face on Sky Sports News. And then he proceeds to write an article about it with an interesting mugshot in the corner. So there's loads of things that I picked up from this article, because I think it's important to look at the whole thing and then come to a conclusion at the end once you've taken it all in. So I read it the first time, and then I thought, typical, you know, media, mainstream media, maybe not enjoying fan content and don't believe it should live on Sky Sports. Which, you know what, even though I disagree with that, I can have a conversation, you know, backing fans, or why I think fan opinion is important within the mainstream, why I think times are moving on, why I think it's important that mainstream media intertwines with the YouTube world and fan content world, and all the positives I think around that. And other people may think differently. That's a conversation. That's a disagreement or conflict of opinions, and we can talk that out. But as I read it the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, I was like, the language in this doesn't sit right. And there could be some of you who are reading it now thinking, Flex, you know, this is racist, this is that. But I thought, let me just keep reading it. And I have to say, Bill, if you're watching, because I'm addressing it to you as well as the viewers who are watching this, I think the language you've used in there is absolutely disgusting from my point of view, and the way it's made me feel is donkey. Okay, I'm a DJ and social media junkie. So, okay, on my bio, Bill, which is, I would have thought, you know, being a great journalist that you are, and a very well-respected journalist, one who's been in the game for a long time, you would have sourced what I claim to be. So on my bio, I am a BTEC ambassador and YouTuber. I didn't say anything about DJing. Now, it seems you might have done a bit of digging. I like my music and I used to be a DJ. Not that that should matter on what my football opinion is, but I wonder why you didn't put BTEC ambassador is on Sky Sports News having his say. Does that not fit the narrative that you want to put? You want to put, it seems like you're trying to put a narrative of Sky have just plucked a DJ from out of the club and asked him some football questions. When in reality, Bill, let me say this. I've been following Manchester United up and down the country, around the world, the best part of 3.5 years now. And that doesn't make me a better fan than anyone else. Let me stress that. But what it does do is give me the right to an opinion on my football team, yeah, on the club that I support. And that's what I've been asked to do. Any fan who consumes football or supports their team has a right to an opinion. Fact. But I just don't like the narrative you've used there. You know, the picture that you've used as well. To me, I'm going to say it makes me like a convict. You know, he's like a criminal, like a little mugshot in the corner there. There's plenty of pictures you could have used. Maybe I'm being a bit pedantic with that, but this is how it's made me feel. And I don't like it. You know, I feel like if you would have put BTEC ambassador join Sky to have his say on Manchester United, it wouldn't fit the narrative you're trying to push. It wouldn't fit. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to put DJ and social media junkie as opposed to BTEC ambassador and YouTuber. Which one sounds better? I'll leave you to decide that. Another thing I don't like as well, what Bill goes on to say, right? is he basically says that right after Flex comes another DJ who's an Arsenal fan whose name I can't be bothered to go and find, basically. And there was another guy on after me. It wasn't probably. It was another guy. I believe he's on Capital Extra as a DJ. But again, he's a white guy. You know, fair enough. He's a white guy. But you couldn't be bothered to go and find his name. But all of us, you couldn't be bothered to go and find what I do and put across what I do. I question that. I don't know why. I want some answers on that. But this is the real interesting bit for me. Bill goes on to say, what the funk's guy? Outgo guys with a lifetime of real footballing experience like Charlie Nicholas, Phil Thompson, and Matt Letizia, who actually know what goes on in the dressing room. Big respect to those guys, you know, big guys in football. And I don't know whether you're angry, Bill, at Sky for this because they've changed the roster, but I don't remember sitting on the Soccer Saturday panel. You know, people that are on the Soccer Saturday panel like Clinton Morrison and Matt are on there doing their thing. They've been in dressing rooms. I'm not on there claiming I've been in the Manchester United dressing room. But guess what? Neither is Phil Thompson. I follow Manchester United more than Phil Thompson does. I'm emotionally invested into Manchester United way more than Phil Thompson does. I care about Manchester United way more than Phil Thompson does or Matt Letizia because they have their respective clubs. Now, yes, they can bring a different viewpoint because they're ex-players, you know, been in and around the managing situation and can give different opinions. But why does that make my opinion any less? That's what I don't get. Now, this is the bit that really got me, guys, and I'm going to be honest here. Bill goes on to say they're replaced by a collection of box tickets. So Bill always is referring to me as a box ticker. So are you saying that I'm only on there to tick a box and not because what I have to say is of any substance? I feel like you're discrediting me, Bill. And the reason why I say that is because you have no idea what I've been doing in the last 3.5 years. I've been in press conferences asking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer questions in an articulate manner and get responses for the fans. And you know what I think this is, Bill? I just think it's journalistic snobbery and racial profiling. It's how it's made me feel. Now,
I'm going to end it there, though, because I'm not going to play the entire video. I have the link at the bottom if you want to see it and scroll it, or you can check out Flex's channel. Just search the Flex on YouTube and you'll find it. But I wanted to bring these issues to light because, as I said, I'm a black person myself, and these issues obviously will affect me, but any racism against any group is wrong. So, you know, this is not like my normal vids where I'm discussing like Arsenal stuff or general football stuff. I just felt I felt compelled to make this. But yeah, I hope I haven't waffled too long or rambled on too long. And yeah, I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Well, it's just after midnight, so technically later today, but you know what I mean. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.